We ask for help not because we are weak. We're asked for help because we want to remain strong. And right now in America today, there are many people asking for help during this crisis, this pandemic, this coronavirus crisis. Many of us are at a point in our life that we have never been here before, and we don't know how to react. So today I want to just talk to you and share with you a presentation that I've entitled Overcoming Seasons of Crisis. And when I think about overcoming seasons of crisis, I think about the benefits of a season. Listen, guys, there is benefits of seasons. The first benefit is that nothing is permanent except God and his promises. The second is that because God's promises that nothing is permanent, his word, Ezekiel 3:1 and 2 states that to everything there is a season, and there's a time to every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Overcoming seasons of crisis. There are benefits to seasons. My name is Chante Earl with Lifting Dreams Institute, where we help entrepreneurs and small business owners create products and content for their ideal customers. And today, during this presentation, I'm going to share with you some things about and how to overcome the seasons of crisis. Right now, this pandemic is causing a lot of pain to a lot of people, but there's power in seasons. And the beauty of that is that we can outlast the seasons. Seasons, they will create 5 different things that are so important. The first thing that happens during a season is change. Seasons will guarantee that things will change. Do you remember the last crisis that we experienced in the United States, the financial crisis? It took 5+ years for people to get out of that. People were getting pink slips. There were folks losing their jobs, their homes. It was a time of crisis. And the thing about that was change happened because many of those individuals who did not have a job to go back to decided to start their own business. Maybe they were able to spend more time with their family, but guarantee something changed. And it was a defining moment in a lot of people's lives. Another good thing about seasons is that it gives hope because after summer is fall, after fall is winter, and after winter is spring. And because it gives hope, we look forward to the seasons being over and experiencing the new season that arrives so we can look forward to and have hope in knowing that this season is only temporary. For those of you who buy clothes during the summer season, you don't throw those clothes away all because summer is over, do you? No. You put those clothes aside, and when summer comes back around, you put them back on. And that's the same thing in these seasons that we're dealing with. It's only temporary, so don't make a permanent decision in this season. Seasons will close one chapter to open up another chapter. So seasons are always temporary. What chapters have been closed during this season that you're in right now? What are some of the things that you are deciding to continue to do? And what are some of the things that you've decided that you will no longer do? Obviously, you're spending time at home with the quarantine taking place. Are you deciding to get organized? Are you deciding to clear your mind and your clutter? Are you deciding that maybe it's time to renew your education and get new skills because now you don't have a job to go back to? In life, a chapter will close, but one will also open. I remember the words of Jim Rohn, who once said that the storms of life, they blow on us all. The difference in us getting to our destination is not the blowing of the wind, but the setting of the sail. Even though the wind blows in different directions, we can still reset the sail and it can help us get to our destination because seasons always change. Not only that, seasons give incentives to plan for the future. What is it that you want to accomplish after this season is over? What plans have you put in place? Today, make a decision to write down some plans for your future. What places would you like to go visit? What new skills would you like to develop? Who would you like to be around, or who would you like to disassociate yourself with for the future? Seasons give incentives to plan. And not only that, seasons are always moving. So, therefore, because the season that you're in now may be a season that may seem overwhelming, and this crisis may seem like, things are just falling apart and you can't seem to get it together, trust me, this will come to pass. And trust me when I tell you this, even though seasons are always moving, God is stable. So never make a permanent decision with temporary circumstances. There is power in seasons. Let me tell you some principles that I was able to discover about seasons. And these principles came directly from the Bible. Genesis 8:22 states that as long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease. And as long as the earth endures, this is a promise. So right now, the earth is still here. We're still living and walking on the earth. So these seasons will continue to endure, and they will go and they will come to pass. So we can stand on that. Another thing that we can stand on is in the word Ezekiel 34:26. It states, I will make them and the places surrounding my hill a blessing. I will send down showers in seasons. There will be showers of blessings. The tree will yield their fruit and the ground will yield its crops. The people will be secure in the land and they will know that I am the Lord when I break the bars of their yoke and rescue them from the hands of those who enslave them. That's a promise that this too will come to pass. And this is only a season. Today, we're talking about overcoming the seasons of crisis. Not only is there principles in seasons, but we have to be able to understand a crisis. So, understanding crisis, we have to know that crisis is only an event. It's an event over which we have no or had no control over. Yeah, it's something that happened that we could not control. Crisis, we're always in control of our thoughts and thus our perspective of crisis. Those are the things that we can control. So just know that even though it's a crisis, we can always control our thoughts and thus our perspective of the crisis. So be careful of what you consistently meditate on. What you meditate on the longest becomes the strongest. So guard your mind so that you can keep it in a proper perspective. Everybody has problems and everybody has crisis at one time or another in their life. Crisis always have been a source of development and growth. In crisis, sometimes it's the only way that a person can change their behavior. How many times have you been told by the doctor, you need to exercise, you need to lose weight, you need to get in shape? Until you go to the doctor that one day and it says, hey, you developed a disease or something has happened, and then only then will you take that serious. God forbid, but it's the truth. We only tend to make growth and develop when we have certain types of crises. The next thing is crisis creates an opportunity for creativity. So even though crisis, it shakes the foundation that we thought was stable, and create new opportunities. So in China or Japan, there's no word for crisis. The word for crisis is opportunity. That's how the Honda was created during a time of crisis where the automotive industry was shook. And the people in Japan realized that they had an opportunity and they took full advantage of it and they created the Honda. Guys, we have to realize that crisis can affect us in many different ways. And how can it affect us? Let's see. Crisis can create fear, trauma, depression, despair, frustration, anxiety, loneliness, abandonment, and worry. Crisis can also make us feel hopeless, sense of loss, sense of death, sense of survival, abuse, crime, and domestic violence. These are all things that happen in humans when crisis strikes, but we can overcome crisis. The Bible talks about John 16:33. He says, I've told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world, you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And how do we overcome crisis? Well, by faith, guys. Listen, faith is the substance of things not seen, but the evidence of things hoped for. And faith and work is how we overcome crisis. We're in a different economy. For example, in Matthew 6:31-34, it says, For the pagans run after these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. We have to go to work, guys. James 2 says, What does it profit, my brother, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can faith save him? It's time to get to work in the middle of a crisis until you get to the next season. So as we begin this process of overcoming the crisis in this season, we have to start to think differently and get to work, because crisis demands new thinking. We have to renew our vision, make a decision that we're going to think different and get to work. What is it that you want to accomplish? What goals do you have? Go to work and create a new economy based on faith and works, and know that this too will come to pass. Crises are only temporary, and you can overcome this season. My name is Chante Earl with Lifting Dreams Institute. And I thank you for just taking the time to listen to this short presentation, Overcoming the Seasons of Crisis. My prayer goes out to you and your family as you deal with this crisis. But know this, as you deal with it, keep things in perspective. This too will come to pass. And know that with God, all things are possible. So continue to trust and lean on him, and know that the battle is not yours, but it's the Lord's. So do your part, go to work, continue to exercise your faith by your work, and believe that this too will come to pass. If you liked this presentation and felt that it has been helpful, make sure that you go to my Facebook page, Lifting Dreams Institute on Facebook. Visit my website, Lifting Dreams Institute. Follow me on Instagram at Lifting Dreams Institute. And know that even though you're dealing with this coronavirus crisis, one day you'll be able to look back on it and say, wow, isn't God good? He helped me through that. And now my life has never been the same. I created new ideas. I made new solutions for different problems, and I'm on the road to victory. I'm cheering for you. Don't allow this temporary circumstance to make you make a permanent decision. You will live and not die. Thank you, and have a great day.